I'm telling you that Brian Laundrie was never at his parents' house the entire time. And I'm going to explain to you in a step-by-step like flow chart on why I think that. This is just my opinion. I don't know if I'm right, but I will say there's obviously a lot of discrepancies, and I think that this timeline makes a lot more sense than the official story. So starting over at box one, right? We know that Gabby's last texts were found between August 27th and 30th. You got to remember, Brian's probably in panic mode. Like he just offed his girlfriend or his fiance. And I believe it shows by him sending fake texts from Gabby's phone. He's frantically calling his parents. I do think at some point on the phone with his parents, they probably told him to like get a burner phone and that they're going to come meet him somewhere. And that's when Brian started traveling. And that's when they saw him on camera when he was traveling using Gabby's debit card. Then I think when they meet up, Brian probably hops in with one of his parents and the other parent drives the van home so that it's not suspicious. And at some point, because Brian had all of his camping stuff, I think that they dropped Brian off somewhere and he was camping out the entire time and went into hiding right after rendezvousing. I also think too that when Gabby's mom said that Brian's mom had blocked her and her message turned green, I really think that that's when Brian's parents were probably driving somewhere where they didn't have cell service to go meet up with Brian, and she was never blocked. The message just didn't go through. Then the parents are obviously going to go ahead and get a defense attorney all ready to go, and that's where the van shows back up at home, but Brian's never there. The cops try to talk to him. At that point, the attorney has advised them, just tell them that you have an attorney. Brian doesn't want to talk. He doesn't want to see them. It's all legal, like protection. Also, real quick, I think that the burn after reading letter being found was a mistake by his mom. And I think she sent that way before any of this ever went down. And Brian never burned it. And then when she got the van home and unpacked his stuff to make it look like he was there, she never expected that letter to be in all of the stuff for the police to find later on when they searched it. So going back to box two, when I said that I think Brian was already in hiding, I think he was camping at this site that they all did this camping trip to. Brian had the means and the resources and the knowledge to be able to survive out in the wild. I think that his family rendezvoused with him to have a final goodbye, finalize their plan, give him a bunch of money, supplies, and anything that he would need to go on the run. And his sister and her husband are just playing stupid after getting advice from the lawyer, saying, we were only there for a few hours. We had to take our kids back home because they had school, blah, blah, blah. No, that's legal talk. This is where I speculate, but I think that that dude got out of here on a boat. Northport, Florida has a ton of marinas. It's only a couple hours away from any international waters. Plus the Bahamas are, I think, like 50 or 100 miles away only. And you wouldn't need a passport to get into the Bahamas. So he could have gotten there and then had access to going pretty much wherever he would have wanted to. There's lower surveillance. And also, nobody even knows at this point that she's missing. You guys got to remember that. It took 11 days. 11 days before somebody was able to say, hey, she was reported missing, and this camping trip happened before that. I think that the fake wellness check was then planted by the legal team or the defense attorney because Brian had confirmed that he made it safely out of the country. They then enacted the plan to say, hey, go do a wellness check, and then, oh my God, where is he? He's gone, he's missing. No, dude was never there. He was on the run. As far as like the DNA and everything found, like the body decomp, I'm going to do a video separately on that, on how I think that all went down.